to you and welcome to KTN Weekend at 1. My name is Wilson Mburu. Let's start in Kisumu, where the Council of Governors took the Pesa Mashinani campaign to Kisumu for the launch of the county's signature collection exercise. Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto and his Kericho counterpart Paul Chepkwony joined Kisumu's Jack Ranguma to promote the campaign. KTN's Fredo Muller has the details.
Kisumu's Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground served as the venue for the launch of the county chief's controversial push in which they are seeking extra funds from the central government. And the governors were at pains to distance themselves from Kod's Okoa Kenya initiative while maintaining that their aims were identical.
Ikiwa tunasema wote tunataka pesa ikuje mashinani, basi wacha pesa ikuje. If it is a good idea, what is the problem? Wananiambia ati code sijui nini, kwani code si ni Kenya, si ni wa Kenya. Si ninyi ni code? Ninyi ni watu wa Kenya? Kwani wengine wananiuliza ni ya mama yako, kwani ni yao? Mimi namwambia kweli ni ya mama yangu na nyanya yangu na sister yake na pamoja na wajukuu yao.
The Bomet governor and his Kericho counterpart have so far resisted pressure from their coalition to let go of the campaign that has placed the Jubilee government on defensive mode.
Recently, we saw the way people in Rift Valley and indeed in other areas of this republic are being molested just for associating themselves with their friend. I think that's not acceptable in this day and age.
Spend 45% of the budget of Kenya connected to revenue will come to the counties of the Republic of Kenya. Because pesa ni ya mama ya Isaac Ruto, pesa ni ya mama zetu. It is taxpayers' money.
The occasion also served as a fundraiser and launch for Kisumu Central MP Ken Obura's Tupindi Sacco that will cater for motorcycle taxi operators. A total of 2.2 million shillings was raised for the organization. Fredo Muller, KTN, Kisumu City.
Now, the Center for Foreign Relations has termed the summons by the International Criminal Court for President Uhuru Kenyatta to appear before the court in person as an affront to the office of the Kenyan presidency. Addressing a press conference this morning, members of the Center for Foreign Relations said the summons are disrespectful of African presidencies. President Uhuru Kenyatta is set to travel to The Hague this week for a status conference after the court dismissed his application to appear via video link on a scheduled date. The ICC says the 8th of October status conference will question the president over claims that the Kenyan government is withholding crucial information requested by the prosecution team.
Non-members of the Rome Statute to prosecute a sitting president, especially at a time when the country faces instability from external forces by being a target of international terrorists, and internally from the transitional effects of implementing a new constitution, convinces us of the lack of good faith in these institutions towards the general well-being of the Kenyan people. Justice must be done and must seem to be done. The case against the president currently, as admitted by the prosecution, lacks sufficient evidence and would under any other circumstance not warrant the time, energy and resources being expended in the efforts to incriminate the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Now, the National Civil Society Congress is calling for the suspension of the Makueni County government on grounds of leadership failure and corruption allegations. The Congress also plans to visit Makueni County this Tuesday to present letters to the MCAs in an exercise dubbed Operation Ondoa Panya. Members of the Congress say this move is in response to a request by the residents of Makueni County. The Congress further plans to put together county recall committees that will mobilize citizens in all counties to recall corrupt and non-performing MCAs.
Operation Ondoa Panya. Operation Ondoa Panya. The quarrels, the shootings that we saw a couple of days ago, the allegations of corruption and other failings of the county government of Makueni, in our view, fall under the category of exceptional circumstances under Article 192(1)(b) of the Constitution. This is one of the conditions under which a county government may be suspended. We therefore call upon the President of the Republic to immediately form a commission of inquiry to investigate the allegations against the county government of Makueni as the first steps towards suspension of the government of Makueni.
It's called Operation Ondoa Panya. We do not know Panya ni kina nani. Let's move on. A section of Muslims in Mombasa marked Eid-ul-Hajj, a day after others marked the Islamic holiday. The Muslims held prayers to commemorate the end of the annual pilgrimage in Mecca, one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Eid-ul-Hajj is the second Eid celebration in the Muslim calendar after Eid-ul-Fitr, which marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan.
Sisi tuko tayari kusaidia wenzetu ambao wako katika shida au ambao kwamba wana mahitaji ya dunia, ya mambo ya kilimwengu, mambo ya kiafya, mambo ya kielimu.
Lakini sio kila mmoja azungumze alemee upande wake kwa kutumia chuki na maneno mabaya, haileti natija nzuri. Italeta chuki na husma na tofauti ambavyo tumeamrishwa na Mwenyezi Mungu.
Residents of New Pomwania State in Eastleigh Section 3 are protesting the deteriorating standards of hygiene and in particular blocked sewage lines. The residents say they have formally issued letters of complaint to the Executive Director of Urban Planning and Housing of Nairobi County. They say they have also written to the Chief Officer of Public Works, Roads and Transport regarding the matter, but nothing has been done yet. To that response, they now appeal to the county government of Nairobi to address the matter urgently.
Siweji ndio hii haiwezi kakata wiki moja kabla haijapiga juu. Sasa sisi tunashinda mpaka kwa choo, hatuwezi tukaenda juu. Tuko na watoto, ukienda kufurashi maji na kuja juu, saa hii iko karibu kutoka mpaka chini.
Nimekuja hapa kuja kusherehekea Eid na nimepata situation mbaya nyumbani. Sasa hata nimeshindwa nitaanza kushughulikia situation hapo ama nitaangalia mambo yao. Lakini it's beyond my control. Nimeshindwa hata kusherehekea Eid.
Tulifuatilia barua, tukapatiwa ofisa mmoja, tukaja naye mpaka kwa site. Akaona kweli drainage imekuwa blocked. Na baada ya kuona drainage imekuwa blocked, he was put aside and given what was given. The end results umeona wenyewe.
Time to take a short break now, but don't you go away, because when we come back, a Moran's Cold is up next. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching KTN Weekend at 1. Now, gonorrhea is on the rise among Morans in Samburu County, where infection of sexually transmitted diseases is sometimes considered a rite of passage. KTN's Catherine Omwando tells us the effect of culture on sex and sexually transmitted diseases in our special feature, a Moran's Cold.
They are the foundation of the Samburu community. They roam the lands, revered by all and yet answerable to no one. They only pledge allegiance to members of their own age sets. Because they stay segregated from the rest of the community, Morans are allowed to take lovers. When he sees a girl he wants, the Moran will sing a song. And in most Samburu clans, if the girl agrees, she is given beads, a sign that she belongs to a Moran.
Wakati basi warani basi wakakuwa basa na wasichana tunakaa tu pamoja.
When the relationship is over, they're both free to find new lovers, and that's where the problem lies. Many Morans will not use condoms, and because of this, there is a growing concern about the number of gonorrhea infections in Samburu County.
To the young people, those people who, before they're initiated into adulthood, many people believe that they have to pass through the gonorrhea infection. They call it homa because it's like it has initiated you into adulthood. So if you have not passed through that, then it's like you are not man enough or woman enough. "32-year-old Julius Muika lives a 30-minute drive away from Maralal town in Samburu County. He and his wife have 2 young children and live a humble life. Julius earns his keep by farming on his ancestral land. For him, life is easy now, more settled, but it was not always like this. He still talks of his days as a Moran with a tinge of excitement in his voice. Julius was quite the ladies' man. This charm and charisma resulted in a sexually transmitted infection, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Sasa wakati ya kwanza niko na girlfriend yangu. Sasa hapo ndo sijajua kabisa kama ni yeye ndio ameleta ama ni mimi, sababu tumepata siku mbili. Alafu nikakaa siku 3 ndio nikajua. Nikaanza kulamu yeye, wewe ndio umeleta. Na yeye pia kanilaumu mimi. Mimi ndio umeleta, kila mmoja anauliza mwingine. Umetoa wapi?
We asked him how he knew the infection was gonorrhea.
Hiyo kitu nikilala tu na mwanamke. Wewe sio siku hiyo. Wewe sio. Hata kesho unasikia baridi tu. Baridi tu ni kama baridi ya kawaida vile na kukula wewe, nasikia baridi. Baridi, lakini hakuna mahali na siku ya 3. Unasikia kwanza ndani mpaka kwa hiyo mshipa hiyo. Bas, ikisema per1, bas. Sasa hapo unajua direct nimepata.
People here have learned to tell the signs of gonorrhea, but in many villages here it is treated as a simple inconvenience.
Hiyo ni kitu ambaye ni ya jadi, ambaye tunaelewa sana. Na hiyo kitu sana inaletwa na vijana. Sasa vijana wakipata hii ugonjwa, sasa wanaambukizana wao kwa wao. Ninatamani sana hii ugonjwa ya kisonono. Na hii ugonjwa ilikuwa ni kitu kama homa. Haikuwa ugonjwa mbaya sana, sababu matibabu yake ni rahisi.
The remedy Samburu traditions dictate is found in a particular herb native to this area, a herb that has been used to treat gonorrhea since time immemorial.
Na hiyo mti inaitwa
makutukuti.
Sasa mimi nikatiwa ile dawa. Ikatolewa hiyo dawa, ikashamushwa. Ikalala mpaka kesho yake asubuhi ili ishike ile makanda. Sasa kesho yake tunatoa hiyo makanda kama ya maziwa.
This treatment can only be done in the presence of individuals of the same age set.
Napeleka mahali kama hapa, mahali imeinama. Sasa kisha huwa naangalia chini. Alafu sasa sinajua sisi wanaume peke yetu. Nanyorosa mguu hivi. Kama nalala na mgongo. Nanyorosa na mguu na hivi. Alafu mguu napanua pia. Sasa kuna kitu kama pipe. Wanatiwa hivyo. Kwa bali yake. Alafu sasa unaambia ufanye. Alafu kufanya. Mwenye anakuweka na time. Iko litotana hapa. Iko kwa hiyo dawa kama imejaa. Alafu kuna kitu kama mdomo open. Unamwagia kama korokoro hivi. Anago time sasa, alafu unamwagia. Alafu sasa inaenda yote. Alafu wanafunika. Wanafinya kufunika. Ili wengine wanakufanya hivi mafuta hapa kwa tumbo hapa. Wanafanya nini? Fue pande yote tu. Pande yote. Alafu ikiasiliwa ile nini? Hiyo kitu itajirisha yenyewe. Sasa hiyo imaanisha hiyo sasa ni kama amefanya kazi. Iko ingine ile imefanywa na hii imeenda mbali sana kwa tumbo. Sasa hapo ni kama ni kukufa tu. sababu unasikia shuku mpaka mgongo, mpaka wapi, mpaka kichwa. Sasa hapo unaanza kutabika na unahara, kutabika na hara, kutabika na hara. Wanakuacha kwanza mpaka uweseke kabisa, mpaka karibu naenda flat. Sasa una nguvu hata ya kujikunja mkono. Hapo ndo wanakupea supu. Supu sio nyama, supu bado unatabika, supu. Ile nyama wengine tu watakula. Supu tu mpaka hiyo supu iishe. Alafu sasa wanatengeneza uji. Unaara mpaka unaara kitu kingine kama mayai chik. Mayai tu na ikifunja ndani ni kama unga. Ile gonorrhea mbaya sasa hiyo sasa. Ile mtu imekaa karibu miaka 3 ikiwa naye. Yaani anatibiwa na bado wako naye, anatibiwa na ambukizia tena. Ile mtu imekaa sana.
But doctors say this procedure does not effectively cure gonorrhea, and yet it is also used on girls and women too.
It's very difficult to get the real statistics because most of the patients are treated through traditional medicines. And even those who seek medical advice, they rarely seek it in the public health institutions. So most of them tend to seek advice from backstreet clinics, where, as you know, our culture is very, very silent on how to handle sexual issues. So people are very afraid to come out with that.
We met Josephine as she was waiting to be attended to by a traditional midwife. She was 4 months pregnant at the time. The father of the child is a Moran.
Tukajuana basi naye. Tukakaa tu tukakutana basi naye nilikuwa basi 16 years. Nikakaa tu nikapata basi mimba kwa hii ya tu. Nikakaa tu tukajuana tu naye na boma yao. Ni marafiki tunaenda tu kuomba hata shumbi ukitaka kila kitu. Unaenda tu wao. Tunajuana basi naye.
We asked if she will marry her Moran. Her answers were guarded.
Mamangu basi hajaeleza basi unataka msichana na baba yangu bado sio hajakula basi nini. Meeting hata kidogo hakuna vile basi amesema. Hata hajaeleza basi nani ni wewe hajaelezwa.
Even if her Moran does not come to claim her as his wife, traditionally 19-year-old Josephine can be married by another man. In our conversations, we asked her if she knew about gonorrhea and its treatment.
Mnaweka tu maji. Mnaenda tu kuleta kwa msituni, mnaweka maji, mnaweka miti, mnakunya. Unashamsha unakunya.
She seemed a little too shy to tell us that the medicine is administered through the rectum.
Hiyo ugonjwa hata utaweza basi kutoa mimba kwa nini? Kama sasa mimi niko na mimba, nikipata basi hiyo ugonjwa natoa mtoto. Hii ni ugonjwa ni hatari.
Apart from being called a cold, in this patriarchal society, gonorrhea infections are also called the woman's disease. Some believe it's because women are more likely to cheat on their lovers.
Kwa sababu basi ndio anapenda kutembea basi kwa msituni, sio kwa nyumba. Unajua basi anaiba basi watu kwa msituni huko. Anakuja basi anaenda tu kuleta kwa msituni, anakuja nyumba. Anakuja basi nyumbani, analetea tena bwana yake. Sasa bwana anajua huyu mama ndio ameniletea. Hiyo mgonjwa basi anaitwa ya mama tu.
Sasa unajua sasa wamama saa nyingine si waaminifu, wote si waaminifu. Kuna mwingine ambaye ananyemelewa tu kando. Sasa baada mbaya akipata ile jamaa ambaye yuko na hiyo kitu, analetea bwana yake. Sasa bwana yake sasa akigundua ni mgonjwa atauliza yeye, hiyo ugonjwa ulitoa wapi? Sasa vita itatokea hapo. Sasa mama sasa atachapwa mpaka aseme mahali ametoa hii kitu.
But it takes two to tango, and yet the women end up being punished for an act in partnership.
Anapata tu wanawake wengine huko, anakuja kwa hospitali, anakuja basi kina bwana basi akipata basi hiyo kitu, anakuja basi anasema huyu mama ndio ameniletea. Mama akitabwa nani anasema ni ule kijana ya hiyo boma.
Wanaita hiyo mtu, wanapiga faini ile kali, sababu ametenda kitu ya makosa kubwa. Kama ni hospitali, hiyo mtu ndio atatoa pesa ya kwenda kutibu hiyo familia.
According to Dr. Muchema, who worked at Marilal Hospital, the traditional treatment is to blame for the growing cases of drug-resistant gonorrhea.
The presentation of gonorrhea is no longer presenting with the old way, where we had the whitish discharge, painful nutritional passage of urine. Now they have treated or partially treated gonorrhea will present with just silent watery discharge and no pain during urination, such that now at the end of it will present, it will complicate before it is detected.
So hospitali imeanza kuja hapa sasa, ndio tunaanza kwenda hospitali. Kama vile mimi nimepata juzi mwezi wa 4 last year. Sasa nimepata tena huko Nairobi. Sasa nikaenda kwa daktari. Tena nimeenda tu kwa chemist. Sio hospitali ya serikali kama hivi. Nimeenda chemist. Nikatungwa shindano. Nikapewa madawa tu ya kumeza. Naenda. Nasikia kama nimepona. Lakini mimi najua hiyo kitu vile ninajua hiyo kitu inakuanga inabakia na mayai ndani. Mpaka nijue tu ni dawa tu ya nyumbani ndio natoa. Kuhakikisha kabisa. Mbona nataka kuhakikisha vile nilikuwa nimehakikisha kuona ile mbele.
We are seeing levels of resistance to first-line treatment going up. We now estimate that only about 4 people out of 10 will respond to the first-line treatment, and that has necessitated us to change the treatment guidelines, moving from what we used to recommend as a first-line treatment to second-line treatment. Although in Kenya the issue of herbal medicine has not been fully explored, the challenge of herbal medicine is that in most cases you do not know the active ingredient of that herbal concoction. You don't know how much or dosage that you need to give the individual. And the risk of herbal medication is that you may underdose or overdose, depending on what's in it.
But shortage of proper health facilities and health personnel for this vast county is also making a bad situation worse. And the county is playing catch-up when it comes to sexual responsibility, especially among the youth.
Sisi tu ndio amejua basi kutumia daktari kikuja hapa ataweka box nyingine hapa karibu kwa nini warani tu akikuja usiku unatoa unaenda tu kutembea na hiyo mpira.
Most of the times, not only in that region, generally men are very poor as medical health seekers. It's up the women who actually brought them to go and seek medical attention. In many cases, you rarely see a man, and even if you said somebody to go and look for the partner, they will never come back.
It's progress that we are making. Of course, initially it was difficult to get to the sexual partners, considering that some people do have casual sex encounters, and in that case you can only treat the client that comes to you. But people who are in stable relationship, we make contact tracing for those partners and treat them.
There is this process where we give them the drugs to take to their partners because we know they won't come. So it's better for the partner to be given drugs if he decides it's more likely to take them because he has a problem.
It's not clear why gonorrhea and not any other STI is rampant in Samburu County. But one thing is clear. Their culture of sharing lovers is nothing new, and it is also seen in modern society. The only difference is modern society have the advantage of being aware of how to protect themselves from sexually transmitted diseases, especially when it comes to casual sex. And it is in this society that change may have to start with the simple recognition that gonorrhea, just like other STIs, is not merely a common cold. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Well, a very disturbing story indeed. Let's move on to sports now. And in the eyes of the Kenyan public, Athletics Kenya is the best sports federation in the country, and that has been complemented by the stellar performances of Kenyan athletes past any other competition. But in there lies a hidden fireball waiting to explode. The chairman, Isaac Kiplagat, has been in bad books with some AK regional chairmen in the recent past. Kiplagat, who has been at the helm of the AK for a quarter of a century, has been facing rebellion from within, and he now says he is considering calling it a day.
Kenya has not known another athletics administrator since 1975, and for 39 years and counting, Kiplagat has witnessed several athletes fly the country's flag high. But even as Kenya has constantly succeeded at international track and field competitions, Kiplagat's iron grip on the leadership of the athletics Kenya has not loosened, in spite of his numerous promises to pass the baton. He is making the same promise now.
This is my last time. I can assure you today, and it may not. It may not even reach that last time.
This promise has not helped resolve the issues bedeviling Athletics Kenya. In fact, some in the association think he ought to have left years ago.
I'm telling you, if he steps out today, tomorrow we are going to ask a special general meeting of the athletes, and we will fill that post. There are no indispensables in this world.
Kiplagat's current standoff with the regional chairman was sparked off by his decision to nullify the election of former 800 meters Olympic champion Wilfred Bungei as a Nandi branch chairman. The regional chairman claimed that Kiplagat does not recognize their contribution.
Now, how do we engage the president when in the first place he doesn't accept that we are a body that could be able to meet independently, come up with suggestions on how athletics should be run in the country.
While steps towards a more professional Athletics Kenya have been made after pushing through a new constitution in 2010, cases like Kiplagat's handling of the Nandi election may have broken the camel's back.
The president should have left this matter for Central Rift alone and the county of Nandi to make a decision so that they arrive and a report is given.
On 28th of this month, when the decision will be made, I will resign if I will be convicted. But since I was elected by the majority of the people, I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere.
Mr.
Well, due to time constraints, we had to fade out that story because that's all we had prepared for you this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us on KTN Weekend at 1. My name is Wilson Buru. Remember that we have Mock the Week this evening and Checkpoint. Do stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. Good day.